Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, no matter how much effort you put in, women seem to lose interest? But other men, somehow, without even trying, hold women's attention for years. You probably think it's about money, looks, or charm. But here's the truth. What I'm about to share with you is something women don't want men to figure out. Because once you do, the entire game changes. Not just in dating, not just in attraction, but in how you carry yourself as a man. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and stay with me until the very end. Because what you'll hear today isn't just advice, it's a mindset shift. This could transform your love life, your confidence, and the way the world reacts to you. The hidden law of attraction the women don't talk about. There's an ancient principle, older than any dating advice you've ever heard. It comes from the mind of a man who lived 2,000 years ago, Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, the philosopher king, the man who, while ruling one of the greatest empires in history, still understood the fragile nature of human desire. Marcus Aurelius never wrote a book for the world. His famous work, Meditations, was just his private journal, thoughts he wrote to himself, reminders of how to stay unshaken. And buried inside those writings is a lesson most men overlook, a lesson that explains exactly why women are drawn to some men and not to others. It's this: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When I first read this, I didn't think it had anything to do with attraction, but I was wrong. Because when you apply this to your life, you become the one thing women can't resist: unaffected. The story of the unaffected man. Let me take you back to a story, one from the streets of ancient Rome. A young soldier once approached Marcus in the palace courtyard. The man was furious. His fiancée had left him for another soldier. He was hurt, angry, humiliated. He told Marcus, "I gave her everything. I loved her more than anyone else, and yet she left me." Marcus looked at him and simply said, "Then she was never yours to lose." The soldier didn't understand. Marcus continued, "You cannot own what you do not control, and you cannot control the heart of another. You can only control your own." That soldier later became one of the emperor's most trusted guards. Not because he was stronger, but because he learned the art of detachment. Why detachment is magnetic. Women are deeply tuned into a man's emotional state, more than we are tuned into theirs. When you're desperate, needy, or overly focused on winning her, she feels it. And when she feels it, she loses attraction. It's not that women want a man who doesn't care. It's that they want a man whose happiness doesn't depend on them. Marcus Aurelius lived by this. As emperor, he had love, betrayal, loyalty, and treachery all around him. Yet he never let external events, good or bad, control his inner state. That's the Stoic way. When a man is unshaken, a woman feels safe around him but also challenged. She can't control him emotionally, and this makes him rare. The modern problem. Today, most men fail at this completely. They text back instantly every time. They over-explain, over-apologize, over-commit too quickly. They try to win her approval before she's even decided if she respects them. And when she senses that you're trying to prove yourself, she knows you're not in control of yourself. Marcus would say, "You are disturbed not by what happens, but by your opinion of what happens." If she doesn't text back, you tell yourself, "She's disrespecting me." If she seems distant, you panic thinking, "I'm losing her." That reaction, not the event itself, is what kills attraction. The Stoic shift. So how do you become that calm, grounded man? You start by mastering 3 Stoic principles Marcus lived by. 1. Control the controllable. Stop trying to control her mood, her feelings, her decisions. Control only your response. 2. Indifference to outcomes. Don't tie your worth to whether she stays or leaves. Your value is internal, not dependent on her choice. 3. Presence over performance. You don't have to do things to keep her, you have to be a man she respects. A real-world example: I once knew a guy, we'll call him Daniel, who had been dating a woman for 2 years. Out of nowhere, she told him she needed space. Most men would chase, beg, or try to convince her. Daniel didn't. He said, "I understand, take the time you need." And he went on living his life. He didn't post fake "look at me" updates to make her jealous. He didn't text her every day. He trained, worked, spent time with friends. 3 weeks later, she came back. Why? Because she saw that her absence didn't crush him. He wasn't acting to get her back. He was just being himself. And that made her realize he was different from other men. The Marcus Aurelius test. If you want to apply this today, try this. The next time you feel the urge to react, whether it's jealousy, anger, or insecurity, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? If it is, act on it. If it isn't, let it go. Marcus would often write reminders to himself like, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Meaning, your challenges, even in relationships, are training for your mind. Every time you resist overreacting, you become stronger, and strangely enough, more attractive. Why women don't want men knowing this. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If every man mastered this, the balance of power in dating would shift. Women couldn't manipulate emotions by pulling away or testing boundaries, because men wouldn't react the way they expect. This doesn't mean being cold or cruel, it means being unshaken. And once you are, everything changes. Because attraction isn't about how much you like her, it's about how much you like yourself with or without her. Building the stone mind. Imagine your mind as a stone. A woman can touch it, hold it, warm it in her hands, but she cannot change its shape. That's the goal. Not to be hard and unfeeling, but to be steady and reliable. Marcus faced war, betrayal, and even the death of his own children. Yet he remained composed. Why? Because he knew that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. When you stop fearing loss, you become impossible to control. Closing challenge. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 30 days, live as Marcus would. Don't react instantly to anything. Pause, think, then act. Train yourself to find peace inside you, not in anyone else. Women will notice, people will notice, and more importantly, you will notice the change in yourself. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that some men seem to have women constantly chasing them, while others, no matter how hard they try, always seem to be chasing women instead? It's almost unfair, isn't it? Two men can have the same looks, the same money, the same lifestyle, yet one becomes irresistible while the other gets ignored. You might think it's about looks, charm, or status, but you'd be wrong. Because what I'm about to tell you today is something women don't openly talk about. In fact, many don't even consciously realize it themselves. But once you understand it, you'll see exactly why some men effortlessly hold women's attention for years, and why others can't keep it for a wee look. So listen closely, because this lesson comes from a man who lived nearly 2,000 years ago. And yet, his words are more relevant to your love life today than anything you'll find in a modern dating book. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and stay until the very end. Because this mindset shift will change the way you see women, relationships, and even yourself. Part 1. The Ancient Key to Modern Attraction. The man I'm talking about is Marcus Aurelius, the last of Rome's 5 good emperors, a philosopher, a warrior, and the most powerful man in the world during his time. But here's what's fascinating. Despite commanding armies and ruling an empire, Marcus constantly reminded himself of a simple truth. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. It sounds like a nice quote, but in reality it's a weapon. Because if you can live by that one line, if you can truly master your own mind, you become the one type of man women can't resist, unaffected. Part 2. Why being unaffected is magnetic. Women are naturally drawn to strength. But strength doesn't just mean muscles or status, it means emotional self-control. Think about it. The man who gets jealous over every little thing, weak. The man who overreacts to a slow reply, weak. The man who tries to win her approval, weak. Weakness isn't about lack of power, it's about lack of control. And women can sense it immediately. Now picture the opposite. A man who doesn't flinch when things don't go his way. A man who can remain calm when others panic. A man whose mood isn't dictated by anyone else's actions. That man is rare, and rarity is attractive. Part 3. The story of the soldier and the emperor. There's a story recorded in fragments of Roman history about a young soldier who approached Marcus in despair. His fiancée had left him for another man. He told the emperor, "I gave her everything, and yet she left me. I feel destroyed." Marcus listened, then replied, "She was never yours. You cannot lose what you do not control. The heart of another is beyond your reach. You can only keep your own." At first the soldier was angry, but as time passed he understood. If a woman's heart can be taken, then it was never firmly yours to begin with. This soldier later became one of Marcus's most trusted men, not because he was physically stronger, but because he had learned emotional strength. Part 4. The modern problem. Today most men have no concept of this. They text back instantly even when busy. They explain themselves unnecessarily. They bend their lives around a woman who hasn't even decided if she respects them. And here's the brutal truth. The more you seek approval, the less attractive you become. Marcus put it another way. You are disturbed not by what happens, but by your opinion of what happens. When she doesn't text back, you panic. When she acts distant, you overcompensate. It's not her actions that break you. It's your interpretation of them. Part 5. The Stoic shift. The moment you stop reacting like this, you change everything. Here are the 3 Stoic principles that transform men. 1. Control the controllable. Stop trying to control her thoughts, feelings, or decisions. Control only your own actions and emotions. 2. Indifference to outcomes. Care about the process, not the result. If she stays, fine. If she leaves, fine. Your value doesn't change. 3. Presence over performance. Women don't stay for the tricks you perform. They stay for the man you are. Part 6. The real-life example. I knew a man named Daniel. 2 years into a relationship, his girlfriend said she needed space. Most men would have begged. Daniel didn't. He said, "I understand. Take all the time you need." He didn't chase. He didn't play games. He simply went on living, training, working, enjoying his friends. 3 weeks later, she came back. Not because he manipulated her, but because she saw that he wasn't dependent on her for happiness. That independence was more attractive than any words he could have said. Part 7. The Marcus Aurelius test. Here's a simple test. Next time you feel the urge to react, pause and ask, "Is this within my control?" If yes, act. If no, let it go. Marcus believed obstacles weren't setbacks. They were the path itself. In his words, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Every emotional test is training. Pass enough of them and you become unshakable. Part 8. Why women don't want men. Knowing this. Because once you learn this, their emotional tests won't work. If you're calm when she pulls away, she can't control you. If you stay grounded when she's upset, she respects you more. This doesn't mean being cold, it means being steady. Part 9. Building the stone mind. Think of your mind as stone. She can touch it, warm it, even decorate it, but she cannot reshape it. That's the kind of presence women remember for years. Part 10. Your 30-day challenge. For the next month, delay your reactions. Don't seek unnecessary validation. Live for your own standards, not hers. People will notice, women will notice, you'll notice. Because once you master yourself, you master attraction. Let me ask you something. Why is it that some men seem to have women constantly thinking about them, while others, no matter how hard they try, fade from her mind within days? It's not about looks, it's not about money, it's not even about charm. What I'm about to share is something women rarely talk about, because they know if men understood it, the entire dynamic of attraction would change. This isn't a trick, a pickup line, or some social media dating hack. This is an ancient mindset 2,000 years old that once made a man the most respected and desirable figure in the known world. Before we start, hit subscribe, like the video, and listen until the very end, because what you'll hear today could permanently change the way women respond to you. The ancient law of the unshaken man. The man I'm talking about is Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, philosopher, and author of Meditations. He was surrounded by power, danger, temptation, and betrayal. Yet he wrote to himself one rule that he lived by until the day he died. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Now at first glance, this sounds philosophical, something to read in a quiet library. But what most men miss is that this principle is also the ultimate weapon in attraction. Because women are not drawn to men who try to control them. They're drawn to men who control themselves. The Emperor and the Temptress. There's a story. less famous than his battles or politics about Marcus and a Roman noblewoman. This woman was beautiful, from a powerful family and known for testing men's devotion. She once tried to seduce Marcus, not out of love, but out of curiosity. She wanted to see if the emperor, the most powerful man alive, could be swayed. Marcus listened to her, smiled politely, and said, "Power over another is nothing. Power over oneself is everything." He walked away, and in that moment, without even trying, he became the one man she couldn't forget. Why? Because he didn't need her, and the less he needed her, the more she wanted him. Why women don't want men knowing this? The truth is, if every man mastered this level of detachment, most of the emotional tests women use would stop working overnight. Think about it. If she withdraws attention, you don't panic. If she tries to make you jealous, you don't react. If she disrespects you, you calmly set boundaries and walk away. She can't manipulate a man who isn't emotionally dependent on her. And once she sees that, she feels both respect and curiosity, because you are no longer just another man in her orbit. The 3 pillars of Stoic attraction. Marcus Aurelius's writings reveal 3 core principles that, when applied to relationships, turn you into this rare type of man. 1. Control the controllable. If you can't control it, don't waste energy on it. You can't control her mood, her past, or her decisions, but you can control how you respond. 2. Indifference to outcome. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't depend on a specific result. Whether she stays or leaves, your life remains rich and meaningful. 3. Presence over performance. Stop trying to win her through effort alone. Instead, be the man she doesn't want to lose by the way you carry yourself. The betrayal that made him stronger. Marcus Aurelius's own wife, Faustina, has been the subject of centuries of gossip, rumors of infidelity, betrayal, and scandal. Historians still debate the truth. But here's what's undeniable. Marcus never let her actions break his composure. He didn't chase her. He didn't try to control her. He ruled an empire, raised his children, and kept living by his values. And here's the paradox. The less control he tried to have over her, the more his presence commanded loyalty from those around him. The modern version of this test. Today, these tests happen all the time. She suddenly takes hours to reply. She starts posting pictures with male friends. She questions your choices in front of others. Most men react emotionally, anger, jealousy, panic, and when they do, they fail. The Stoic response? Observe, assess, respond only if necessary, and without breaking your calm. The Stone Mind exercise. For the next 7 days, try this. Every time something happens that triggers you, pause. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it is, act. If it isn't, release it. At first, it will feel unnatural, but with repetition, you'll notice something. People's words and actions stop shaking you, and when women see that you are emotionally stable, they feel both safe and intrigued. Why this works on a psychological level. Attraction isn't purely about physical traits, it's about emotional experiences. When you react emotionally to every small thing, you give her the experience of instability. She feels like you need her approval to be okay. But when you are calm under pressure, you give her the experience of safety and certainty. And that's what makes her want to be around you. The long game of respect. Marcus Aurelius understood that influence, whether over nations or hearts, wasn't won in a single act, but through consistent behavior. If you want a woman's deep respect, you have to live in a way that doesn't change based on her attention. This means your purpose comes first. Your mood isn't dictated by her texts. Your standards are non-negotiable. A real-world example, the man who walked away. A friend of mine, we'll call him Sam, was dating a woman who constantly tested his patience. She'd cancel plans last minute, flirt with other men, and push boundaries. One day, she made a cutting remark in public to embarrass him. Sam smiled, finished his drink, and said, "I think this is where we part ways." He walked away, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. 3 days later, she showed up at his place in tears, apologizing. But Sam had already moved on, not because he wanted to punish her, but because he refused to share his life with someone who didn't meet his standards. That's Stoicism in action. The 30-day transformation plan. If you want to adopt this fully, here's the challenge. Week 1. Observe. Notice every time you get emotionally triggered. Don't try to stop it, just become aware. Week 2, delay. When you feel the urge to react, pause for 60 seconds before saying or doing anything. Week 3, reframe. When something bothers you, ask, what would this look like if it were a test designed to make me stronger? Week 4, act with intention. Only take actions that align with your values, not your impulses. By the end of 30 days, people will feel the difference in you. Final reminder. Being unaffected doesn't mean being cold or heartless. It means being steady. It means a woman can add to your life, but she can't define it.